Now, Stormwatch 12 weather on Newswatch 12.
Well, the National Weather Service has issued an air stagnation advisory for pretty much all of southern Oregon and northern California, not set to expire until 10 o'clock on Thursday. So that means for the next 2, 3, 4 days, we're going to have pretty light winds, pretty stagnant air, and could be looking at some air pollution kind of deterioration over the next couple of days because we have high pressure really dominating. Now the center of it is right over Oregon, which is partially why we're looking at that air stagnation advisory, but high clouds way off to our west, and we'll see some of this as we go through the next couple of days. Now, if you do have any friends and family out towards the central and eastern part of the country for coming home from Thanksgiving weekend, we have a pretty significant system in the Central Plains, and this is actually going to be getting closer and closer towards areas like, say, Chicago, over by St. Louis up through Detroit. So those are major airports, so we could be looking at pretty snowy conditions for tomorrow morning. So if they have flights leaving early tomorrow morning, they could be looking at some delays. There also could be some delays out towards the East Coast with some heavy rain by the later part of tomorrow. But other than that, things are looking fairly quiet for the rest of the country, so not really anticipating a whole lot of major delays. Now here in the West Coast, we're going to be looking at some high clouds moving into the region eventually once we get towards Tuesday, but an area of low pressure is actually going to be diving down to the south and the east, may miss us entirely. In fact, we'll look at that here. We have high pressure looking at the sunshine and cold mornings for the next couple of mornings. Here's that system we were just looking at, and that goes really into California over the next couple of days, and that is just going to give us some clouds, which will actually keep low temperatures kind of on the upswing, but still pretty chilly for the next several mornings. Now we go towards Thursday, and we're going to be looking at a colder and an active weather pattern beginning at that time, and we'll be looking at snow levels dropping down to about 3,000 to 4,000 feet. Now, they may end up fluctuating over the next several days after that, but it's looking fairly stormy after that. Now, in terms of rainfall amounts, obviously they're not going to see anything for the next couple of days, but when we start getting a little bit of that rain from the first system coming through on Thursday, we're looking at some light rain showing up throughout the morning hours and then eventually spreading east of the Cascades as well. But it's not really going to be a significant rain event because it'll be the first system moving into the area. But it'll also bring colder temperatures, and speaking of colder temperatures, we were kind of just looking at those temperatures at Port Orford at 38 degrees. Expect some frosty conditions tonight. Temperatures hovering about 33 or 34 degrees for tonight. Current temperatures already into the upper 30s, low 40s along the Oregon coast. We're into the upper 20s and 2 degrees above freezing here in Medford. Already into the low 20s into Siskiyou County and teens east of the Cascades. Christmas Valley could easily get into the single digits for tonight. Speaking of tonight's forecast, we're going to be looking at teens east of the Cascades, teens to low 20s into Siskiyou County, looking at 27 here in Medford, 37 for Brookings. Brookings, you should make it up to 59 tomorrow. We'll be looking at 40s and 50s widespread throughout the region. So a pretty nice day overall. In fact, speaking of nice weather, we're going to be looking at some very nice weather right around 60 degrees for the Oregon coast for the next couple of days. And then we'll see the rains really start to pick up once we go to Thursday and Friday of next week. For Northern California, temperatures staying into low 50s for the next several days, cooling off into the 40s by Thursday, but very cold overnight lows, mostly into the 20s. For the Klamath Basin, same kind of scenario for overnight lows, generally into the 20s, so very cold mornings, highs in the upper 40s, but eventually cooling off. We'll see rain and snow once we get towards the latter part of the week. Again, that snow level around 3,000 to 4,000 feet by then. For the Cascades, same scenario, 40s, and then temperatures dropping into the 30s. A better chance of snow for Thursday and into Friday. And here in the Rogue Valley, we'll be into the mid-50s for the next couple days. Very isolated fog patches, very possible. And then temperatures start cooling off once we get towards Thursday. Could see some more rain by then.
Thanks all.